Now that we have talked about self-awareness and what it is, let's look at what might be getting in the way of you being self-aware. We're going to start this session with a science lesson. Yeah, I know I've taken you back to your high school years, but bear with me. I promise it'll be worth it. This is your brain. Now, let's look at your brain in two parts: your feeling brain and your thinking brain. When information enters your brain, it enters at the base of the skull and travels upward. The first stop on the journey is to the limbic system. Now, the limbic system is the emotional center of your brain, your feeling brain. So any information that enters your brain must pass through the emotional center before it travels up to our rational or our thinking brain. Now, let that sink in for a minute. So when something is presented to you, you will always have an emotional reaction first. Now, I know many of you will say, but I'm not an emotional person. Science proves otherwise. But we do all react differently emotionally. So residing in your emotional brain is your amygdala. I like to refer to her as Amy. Amy, your amygdala, is responsible for your survival. You probably heard her referred to as your fight, flight, or freeze area. So when information enters your brain and makes its first stop in your limbic system, Amy moves into action. It's her job to decide what you should do with the information. Should you fight? Should you flee? Or will you freeze? To help Amy with her decision, she's going to contact your hippocampus. Now, the hippocampus is where your long-term memories are located. Amy will ask your hippocampus what he knows about the situation, and the hippocampus will dig for those memories. Here's an example. Joey is the comptroller for your company. You two have worked together for 3 years. And you've always had a difficult time with Joey. Joey's a numbers guy and analytical. And every meeting you are in with Joey, he's always the one that throws cold water on a hot idea. He's the naysayer. You've become so frustrated with Joey's negative attitude that you get hives just thinking about another meeting with him involved. You're an ideas person, the visionary in the company, and working with Joey really drags you down. So now it's your first big leadership meeting of the new year, and everyone is excited about what the new year is going to bring. Your team has been in discussion for some big new projects, and you plan to finalize those projects in today's meeting. As soon as the first idea is presented and discussion opens up, Joey shoots the eye down with all his talk about cost and data. Now, immediately you feel yourself getting angry. He always does this. So let's stop here. When information from Joey entered your brain and Amy jumped into gear asking the hippocampus about what you know about the situation, your long-term memory is going to tell Amy, Joey always does this. We always react with anger and frustration, so that's precisely what you do. Now, you may be the type of person who lashes out at Joey, or you might be the quiet type that holds your anger in, but you have an emotional response. Here's where self-awareness begins. Do you know what people or situations cause you to have an emotional response? Do you know what your emotional reaction is to each case? I also want you to consider how emotions present themselves in your body. Now, body signals are the physiological symptom that what happens when you are feeling a certain way. It's your body's automatic response to emotions. Now, people can differ on what body signals they experience. So my body signals for angry feelings might be different than someone else's. Also, Some people may experience the same body signal for different and opposite feelings. Most people aren't really aware of their body signals until they start thinking about them. I want you to think back to the last time you were extremely happy or extremely mad. Do you remember feeling certain sensations in your body? Now, often just thinking about something that makes you feel a certain way can elicit some of those body signals. Common signals for happy feelings could include your heart beating quickly, you can't be still, smiling, or sad feelings could include crying or slow movements, slumped shoulders, or talking in a quiet voice. What about angry feelings? Those could include clenched fist or a red or hot face, yelling, the heart beating quickly. Or worried or scared feelings could include butterflies in the stomach, the heart beating quickly, and shaking. Now, once you're aware of your body signals for certain emotions, you can have a better awareness of when you need to do something to calm down. It's called a body signal for a reason. It's a signal that you're becoming overwhelmed with emotion and need to use a calming or coping strategy to help you calm down and regulate emotions. Please download the worksheet titled Emotions in the Body. First, I want you to take some time to look through the emotions and identify how your body reacts to each emotion. Some of these may be easy to recognize, and others you may have to think about a bit. Next, I want you to talk with a trusted friend or colleague. On a separate worksheet, ask them to rate each emotion on 1, how frequently do I display this emotion? And 2, how does this emotion affect my body language? Take your time doing this exercise and get to know yourself physically. It will pay off in the future.